Alright guys, welcome back to another Master and Apprentice video and podcast. Now we usually go over these kind of articles and just news updates on the pod. This one's a pretty big one. It's got me excited. I know it's got a lot of other fans excited. It's something that we've all been talking about since the release of Kenobi Season 1. And that's right, if you saw the title and thumbnail, Kenobi Season 2 is a highly possible, which, the whole marketing scheme for that was, this is limited time, there's nothing coming after this is just a one-time season series. And so to hear that we might be getting more is highly interesting, to say the least, right? So we're going to go over this is going to be off of the Forbes. It's relatively informing, so we'll get right into it. So like I said, off the Forbes, it's going to be by Paul Tassi, titled Somehow Obi-Wan Kenobi May Return for Season 2 on Disney+. Getting into the article, Disney Plus Star Wars offerings routinely are thrown up in the air when it comes to whether they'll get more seasons. The Mandalorian and Andor are done. Mando with its movie, The Acolyte was cancelled, The Book of Boba Fett is definitely dead. Who knows what happens with the Skeleton Crew? A great show I'm positive a few people ever knew even existed. The only confirmed show getting a Season 2 is Ahsoka Season 2, which will likely air close to 3 years after Season 1. But now there are some potential developments with the series not mentioned above, Obi-Wan Kenobi. A new report from insider Daniel Richman says that Season 2 of Obi-Wan Kenobi is in development at Lucasfilm. This is a show that aired in 2022, and it being in development would probably mean there would be a 4 to 5 year between seasons at least, because this is how Disney Star Wars works now. Obi-Wan Kenobi had a solid enough 81 score from critics, but a much lower 61% score from fans. And it's one of those series that in hindsight, most fans probably like even less, but its ratings were decent, and it's been well documented that its stars Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen are itching for a return for more. Here's McGregor back in October 2024 speaking about a potential Season 2. Obviously, between the end of Obi-Wan Kenobi series and when Alec Guinness is Obi-Wan Kenobi, they got to be another few stories in there. McGregor said, "We're definitely hoping, or exploring that, I think would be the word to say. This remains a rumor, but as ever, it seems like Disney does not want to leave the Skywalker era in any meaningful capacity. Ashore of what appears to be a single film in development, Dawn of the Jedi, which would go back in time, but we'll see if that ever actually makes it out." So, obviously, it's not necessarily confirmed, but it's as best as you're going to get. An article on the Forbes going over a leak by Daniel Richman is the best you're going to get that this actually really is in development, right? We had heard for years at this point that Season 2 was something that they were thinking about. But for them to go and say it's in development, that means at the very, very least, they're putting ideas and stories together and pitching it to actually be put into production, right? That's the earliest. It could mean they're actually getting ready to put a cast together, get production ready, right? It could mean they already have a story and they already got it set, which would be even better, right? I know Season 1 wasn't beloved, but I think Season 2 has potential, right? Because Season 1 did have some gold moments, right? I always say, I know people don't like this kind of comparison, but it was a piece of gold wrapped in dog poop, right? Like, there were some really great parts of Kenobi. There were some really bad parts of Kenobi, right? I think some refinement, 5 years after the airing, if not more, of the show, you could really see an improvement on some of those great parts and maybe see some of those bad parts cut out. Kenobi and Anakin are the stars of Star Wars, right? They really are. With all the old, characters from the 70s and 80s either dead or retired from Star Wars, it's now to the prequel heroes, and that's Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen. For them to be excited to have a series, I think that would be awesome to have. Right now, the future of Star Wars is in the hands of a movie or two and Ahsoka Season 2, right? I think you can only help it by putting Kenobi Season 2, right? In an era where a lot of Star Wars shows and projects are really failing, Kenobi was an outlier, right? It did really, really well. And mostly because of the name Kenobi, obviously. I don't think that goes away with the Season 2. Even though Season 1 wasn't a huge success, I think fans would still get excited if you market it better. Like, hey, we know not everyone liked Reva. Don't worry, she's not returning. This is going to focus more on Anakin and Kenobi. I think everyone would love that. You know what I mean? I'm really excited to see where this goes. I hope we get it. I didn't love Season 1, but I liked it enough that I would definitely like to see a Season 2.
Yeah, if you think of the top Star Wars live-action Disney Plus shows, It's not in any particular order: Mandalorian, Ahsoka, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, unless you're counting Andor, which only season 2 really chalked it up, and the whole idea of that is the end of it. So Andor out of the picture, it's Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, and Mandalorian. Mandalorian is getting a continuation, Ahsoka's getting a season 2, and Obi-Wan getting a season 2 is only a good thing in my mind. I mean, people are going to ignore and not watch Skeleton Crew because they have no skin in the game, but once you bring in the big actors that everyone loves, not just the actors for the characters they play, but people love Hayden Christensen too. They love Ewan McGregor. They're awesome people, and it's fun to watch them. They like being in Star Wars. And, I mean, when Season 1 came out, everyone was coming up with this plot question. How is Obi-Wan and Vader going to leave where Obi-Wan's still the Master? I'm not even worried about that right now. I mean, I'm just excited to get another show because I can't think of almost anything else that they could say that they're releasing a new project of, and I would not be skeptical of. I mean, they obviously can mess anything up. Anyone can mess anything up. It could be bad, but in Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2, it's got that little level that everything else doesn't have. It's starting off with Obi-Wan Kenobi and Ewan McGregor. That's awesome.
You know, Ahsoka, a lot of the reason people liked Ahsoka Season 1 was the huge Hayden Christensen return, how well he looked, how easily he fit into it, the flashbacks. You know, you do something like that, you know, I don't mean to beat a dead horse, because I feel like everyone's like, just put Dave Filoni on the project. But for a lack of better ideas and words, put Dave Filoni on it. I think you have a great Season 2, right? Not that the creators of Season 1 necessarily couldn't do better. I think they can obviously make improvements on their story. But I think Dave Filoni gets it. He's working with those characters and those actors right now with Season 2 for Ahsoka. I think why not? And those flashback scenes, those episodes, I mean, that's a huge draw for Ahsoka Season 1. I think it could work for Season 2. You know, I don't know. I think there's a lot more potential there. I would definitely like to see it. Let us know what you guys think down in the comments. If you guys are excited for our Season 2, or if you don't even care at this point, if you just want to see new ideas. Because I think a lot of fans are also at the point where they just want to see new stuff from Disney. And I get that too. You know, you don't want to see them hurt your legacy characters anymore. I can understand that as well. So let us know what you guys think down in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe. If you guys are listening on podcast, don't forget to hit that download and follow. And with that, we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.